What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio Shout and stepping in the building. I got a guy that has been known to turn the community out, saving lives and helping everybody off in this thing. Curtis Malone. I'm talking about Duplicity, the book. I mean, basketball, drugs, and my double life, man. Yeah. Kurt, take me to day one, man. How the hell did basketball, drugs turn it into a double life for you, man?
Well, living in the basketball world, helping kids, man, and preaching to the kids, not to do A, B, and C, and then find myself doing the same
A, B, and C
thing that I'm doing A, B, and C, but I'm telling them not to do. So for me, it was some decisions I made, man, that I regret doing, making.
Yeah.
So it led me to go away for 7 years.
My God. Yeah. Talk to me about just being a coach, though, and seeing those young guys coming in there as young men playing ball and then getting full rides into college and then going to the NBA and stuff like that and impacting their lives from a young age. What was that like for you at that time?
Well, it was a really good thing because I wanted to give back to the kids and help the kids, not having that mentor in my life, playing ball and playing a little bit of college ball. I wanted to really change the lives of kids so they don't make the same mistakes I made.
That's right.
So I wanted to give back, and that's what I chose to do. So we started the youth program. So to see those kids, man, first of all, it was about academics first, getting a degree and
that's right.
going to college for free.
Come on now.
So it helped a lot of them get to high school for free, which they didn't pay. A lot of tuitions for private schools and then go to college and get a degree, for the real world. So it was a great opportunity seeing these kids grow and still so close to some of them at 40-something years old. They grown men now, but to still play a major part in their life. And those kids still look up to me as a father figure, uncle, brother, whatever. Yeah.
The duplicity of it all, though, man, on the other side of the street. I mean, how did you find yourself on the other side of the street with the drugs part?
Well, sometimes you got to choose a side of the street. For me, I don't think I ever stayed on the side of the street that I should have stayed on. So just still living the life of your close friends, the way I was raised. You don't turn your back to your family, to your community, to the people that raised you.
That's right.
So for me, I still hung around the same people, and my thing is, we don't judge. If you choose to break the law, that's on you.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to remove yourself from it, and when I chose not to, it's what happened.
Okay, so now talk to me about living that double life at the same time, and how difficult was that for you?
It became a little tougher than what I wanted it to be, because I hid it. Nobody really knew what I was doing besides my small crew of guys that knew what I was doing. But for the most part, the families, when you run a program as big as mine, you got to do a lot more hiding than you normally do. You know what I mean? So for me, I think that it was pretty tough. It started getting a little hectic, because some things you just can't hide, I think, So for me, it got a little complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing the program from scratch, though, I mean, talk to me about those early stages of, creating the camp and then watching the kids come in. And then who were some of the special kids that came through that camp that you always remember as well?
Well, the starting the program that we started in 1993, some of my best friends, we just wanted to give back. It was a normal team from the rec center.
Yeah.
And from there, we ended up doing AAU. Guys, Mike Sumner and some of my best friends, and Damon Handon and Troy Weaver, who's now the vice president of New Orleans Pelicans. But, we just thought it was just helping kids, and it ended up being bigger than what we thought it would be.
Yeah.
And from there, we changed hundreds of kids' lives. So, some of the guys that came up, we had My first McDonald's All-American was a kid named Mark Koch out of Baltimore, big-time player.
Yeah.
And from there, we had probably 16 or 17 McDonald's All-Americans, NBA guys. One of the first kids who we realized we had a special kid was a kid named DeMar Johnson. He was drafted here by the Hawks in 2000.
Yeah.
Was in a bad car accident his second year here with the Hawks. But you start to realize, damn, these kids are special. So and everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay, watching those kids grow up, though, man, I mean, how much joy did you get from seeing them go and get those full rides where they might not have otherwise gotten those scholarships to school because of your camp and the help that you were giving them?
It was a great feeling, man. First, being able to see most of these kids get off the streets and out of the projects. We started on strictly inner city kids.
Yeah.
And from there, being able to see these kids go and have a chance to get a college degree was an unbelievable feeling, because these kids had a chance to do most of the things that we didn't do as coaches and mentors.
That's
so
right.
Getting these kids to go to college and see something different besides the streets of Washington, D.C. was an amazing feeling, man.
What was going through your mind when the party stopped? I mean, on the drug side of the thing, I mean, how was that? First of all, how did the drugs start in your life, and how did it wind up getting to the point to where you wind up going away for it?
Well, I think growing up in the 80s in
DC?
Washington, D.C., man.
Jesus Christ.
It was hard because you're talking about the era when it was called the crack era.
Yeah.
So the drug game was so plentiful, so easy. So getting into that game early in the late 90s, and then getting I was arrested in 91.
Yeah.
I caught a crack cocaine case.
Yeah.
So it was just so different during that time. So I got out of the game. I chose to get on the agent side and work with agent representing players. So from there, and then I found myself back dipping and diving back into that game. Financially, things had changed a little bit in my life.
Yeah.
So, trying to still continue to be able to not say no to so many people. I had to do some things that I shouldn't have done to keep that going, financially.
Yeah. When the funk hit the fan, though, Kurt, I mean, what was that moment, and how did that even happen?
It was just it was a disappointment.
Yeah.
I realized I let so many people down. Oof. People counted on me, man. And then, for this thing to be on the news, on ESPN, different things too, it was I was so hurt that I let so many people down. The disappointment, my daughters, my children, my parents, the neighborhood, the whole Washington, D.C. community. I felt like I just let so many people down. But then going through that, I had to realize, am I going to throw a pity party? Or am I going to mentally get through this thing and figure out what's the next step? Because I was given a second chance, you know what I mean? So for me, it was, man, put these boots on, do this time, and let's figure out what the next steps are, because ain't nobody gonna feel sorry but you.
Yeah, doggone right.
Exactly.
I mean? Exactly. I mean, when you put the boots on and it was time to do the time, I mean, how was the time for you, and how long was the time?
Well, the time was a big adjustment because now somebody tell you where you can eat, sleep, and shit. You know what I mean? So now, you got to figure out, how do you get through this bid? You're getting some time. You're going to have to do some time. So for me, it was just really an adjustment, again, to adjusting to your environment where you at, prison. You know what I mean? So I went away. I was sentenced to 100 months. So I ended up doing 7 years total. Okay. So for me, it was just, how do you, my day-to-day is just figuring out how to get through it, you know, and the man believing in the man upstairs because, whether good or bad, that's who gets you through it all.
Exactly.
So
your mental health during that time, though, man, after coming off of that humbling experience, you talking about being on ESPN and they talking about the wrong that you done did and then having to be in prison for that time. Mentally, how were you coping with all of this stuff, man?
Well, I've always, the way I was raised and the way I come up and the guys who raised me, man, from day one, I always felt like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Either it's gonna come to an end eventually, or either you're gonna get out or you're gonna go to prison or death.
Yeah.
It's the game you play.
Facts.
So for me, the mental wasn't too bad. It's just an adjustment. I can't see my family. I can't go past see my dad.
Yeah.
My kids now, they got to fill out visiting form.
Yeah.
They only get to come see you for a couple of hours. Then they got to go back home.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a big change. But again, mentally, I think I adjusted very well because at the end of the day, I wasn't going to do anything to cut my time.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do the wrong thing. So I just had to man up and be ready for whatever came my way.
Exactly. After that time was served, the redemption of it all, man, touching back down and getting back to you, man. What was that like for you, Curtis? When that day that you realized that it was time to go home, take me through that moment.
Well, for me, it was a happy day knowing your day has come.
Yeah.
Where my woman was going to pick me up and children was going to see me. I get to go see my dad and spend time. So for me, it was a a big time day. I mean, while in there, the guys threw me a big party because I'm going home.
Come on now.
So now I get to go home, man. So for me, it was big, man. I get to now I got to face how are people going to take me.
Ooh.
Are they going to love me the same way?
Yeah.
Are people going to turn their back? And some people did, while I was away. But for the most part, I was blessed because I had a lot of support. Man.
Okay, then.
I tell people, even the judge, said she had never received so many letters from people, and nobody she's had to sentence. And then, I had 80 people on my visiting list. My counselor said he had been in the prison system for 40 years and said he's never seen nothing like it. Get the call, and he called me and said, look, man, no more visits. I don't give a damn. They better not send no more visiting forms in. So for me, I had a good support system. So, going back, I'm just wondering, how are people going to take me?
Yeah.
So it was I wonder, are they going to love me the same? So for the most part, it was an easy adjustment because everybody still was rooting for me.
What years was this time, though, Kurt?
I went away in 2013.
Okay.
And I came home in 2020.
Okay.
May of 2020.
Hold up.
It was the
That's what
COVID.
I'm saying. You done touched down into COVID?
And I'm still locked down because you can't leave the house. Everything is shut down. So now, but I get to do the time with my woman.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a big difference, right? Instead of with these guys, you got me in here with all these jokers, man.
Exactly.
Talking all the same trash. But now I get to at least be in the house with my woman. So it felt like a visit every day, but with her.
How did that feel, though, when you touch back down and COVID is going on? We got the lockdowns and all hell is breaking loose in America. You thinking, okay, I just left prison. I come back out here into the real world and it's going down out here,
It's
too.
going down now. You got to wear a mask everywhere. A lot of things are shut down.
Yeah.
Restaurants not open. You can only take out. I mean, it was a big adjustment. But the good thing is, when I came home, I had the ankle monitor on. So I had 9 months of house arrest.
Okay.
So I got to adjust pretty good. So a lot of company, a lot of family come to visit. So, at the time, my wife now, her and her girlfriend lived together, and she was like, baby, we got to hurry up, move, because you got too many damn people coming to this girl house, man. And this door open all day, all night. People coming. So the adjustment was easy, though. It was easy, but it was also a blessing to be back.
Outside of COVID, what were some of the changes that you saw in the world when you touched back down?
It really, it wasn't much.
Major,
It wasn't a major. People had gotten older. Now I'm looking at my kids, they a little growner now. She ready to graduate from college. So she got kids, and So but it was easy, man. And the change, it wasn't a big change. I mean, things the same. And, being away and you got cell phones where you at. So,
yeah.
I'm still connected still connected to the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Relaunching the DC Assault, man, what was that like getting back into that game? And did you feel like you had a lot of trouble trying to regain the trust of the community after doing that time? Or was it, hey, man, you done sent all these boys to college and to the NBA. We glad you back home.
Well, I during the time when I came home, I got so many messages and people calling, man, when are you getting back in? You got to get back in. They need you. They need you. So I went and helped some little guys like my nephews. I helped their program, and they announced that I was coming back, and I helped them. So finally, this past couple of months ago, New Balance, the shoe company, was like, look, why don't you start DC Assault back?
Come on now.
So I was blessed that they were like, look, we'll sponsor the team, we'll sponsor the program.
Come
we
on
just
now.
need you to do what you always have done. So, we just launched DC Assault again.
What was going through your mind when you got the call from New Balance, man? After all of this stuff you done been through, now here comes New Balance saying, hey, man, we want to put you back on your feet and back in the game.
Well, it was a blessing. I knew the New Balance guys, the guy who run New Balance. He's a Washington D.C. guy.
Okay.
So we always kept in touch. And New Balance just really got into the basketball world a few years ago. So it was an honor for them to feel that, they wanted me to be a part of their growing brand,
Exactly.
So it's growing. They signing NBA guys, they doing a lot of stuff in the league. So it was a blessing. It was a blessing.
This book, though, Curtis, I mean, what do you want the reader to take away from it, man? If they don't take nothing away from that book right there, what do you want them to put it down and say, you know what, I learned this and I received this message from Curtis Malone?
Well, it's a lot of lessons.
Okay.
It's first of all, everybody go through trials and tribulations, right? And I think that being a great human being to people, it pay off.
That's right.
Because, when people love you, they don't see your bad. They remember most of your good. So I think that just being a great human being to people, it's going to always work in your favor, man.
Yeah.
And for me, just kids and, shortcuts in life, you can't, ain't no shortcuts.
Yeah.
You got to do the right thing, whether academically or, from an athletic standpoint. Just life lessons that we deal with every day.
Exactly.
That, don't give up on your dream. When you fight through adversity, you got to be ready to fight. So it's not really one particular, but I'm blessed to be considered a good person.
That's right.
That so many people didn't turn their back on me. And I think that was from just, being a good human being.
Exactly. What was the life lesson that you learned over this whole journey?
Well, honestly, man, no matter how much money, no money is worth your life. Going to prison. It's nothing's worth the money you make. Nothing can replace your family.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. You can make $1 million, you can have $1 million, $2 million, $20 million.
Yeah.
But when that judge sentenced you to 20, 30 years, you can't tell me that 20 million is worth, losing your time with your family, man.
Yeah.
And you come back home and 9 out of 10, you don't have much of anything left.
Yeah.
So I think, that for me, nothing was worth, for me.
Exactly.
Got to see my dad on a visit. He barely walking, getting old.
Yeah.
He got to come see me in a prison. It was hard. So none of it was worth it for me.
When you touch back down also, though, Kurt, mentally readjusting, mentally, what was that transition like for you after you got back home and you in COVID and then just, bringing it all in and just getting reacquainted with everybody?
Well, the adjustment was, I think it was pretty easy.
Okay.
Again, because I didn't lose a bunch of people who were in my life.
Because you had an 80 doggone guest list.
Yeah, I had a good support system.
Yeah.
You know, I had I was married when I went to prison.
Yeah.
I ended up getting a divorce in 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But I had my wife now.
Yeah.
You know, I had the best support system.
Yeah.
So it was easy. It was easy. I had a great woman in my corner who rode with me.
Yeah.
I mean, she rode with me. I ain't miss a visit.
Come on now.
Twice a month. Woo. You know, the Saturday and Sunday visit. And, you know, it was easy, man, because people showed me so much love, man. You know, my daughters, my family. It was love, man.
What would this grown Curtis Malone tell young Curtis Malone before he strikes out on that journey, man?
Man, look, like my high school coach always told me, man, it ain't no shortcuts in life, man.
Yeah.
And fast money ain't the answer, man.
Come on now.
You know, so when you run around doing this, you know, and you got to be prepared for the consequences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, no shortcuts. You know, you got to work hard for whatever you want, and it ain't gonna fall out the sky. You got to go get it.
Those are big old facts right there.
And doing the wrong thing ain't the answer, man. It's
Damn
not
right.
worth it.
Nah, with you on that.
It's not worth it.
Lastly, Kurt, what do you want the people out here to know, and how can they get that book so they can get down with the movement?
Okay, well, you know, Duplicity, man, it's actually on, you know, it's on Amazon.
That's right.
Right now. It's on Barnes and Noble. So you can just go to Duplicity or type in my name, Curtis Malone, and also my Instagram is the Curtis Malone.
Yeah.
So we getting a lot of traction. So you can just go online and order the book, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's moving.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all get down with the movement. Be High Radio Shouted. Curtis Malone. Holla at y'all in a minute, man. We gone.
Appreciate it.
No problem.